My name is Isabela Almeida. I am a PhD candidate at the University of Outeiro on Multimedia in Education. This work was done in collaboration with Dr. Professor Rui Dias from Castelo Branco Institute, Dr. Professor Gilberto Bernardes from University of Porto, and our colleague Luís Outeiro from University of Porto. It is a pleasure to present our work on EIMAD Conference 2020. We built a digital music interface. The acronym for Digital Music Interface is DMI, as I'm going to call it from now on. Our DMI is called MI Blues, and the proposal intends to assist novice pianists on the learning music process. MI Blues has an interface that guides the user on improvisation through a set of LED lights. Piano players need to learn many skills: reading score, proper fingering, rhythm sense, keeping tempo, and dynamics. It's a lonely and lengthy process. Learning how to read music score and perform correct keying and the correct fingering are essential for beginners. Many novice pianists grow up with sayings like, "Practice makes perfect." These sayings imply that to practice means to repeat. Traditional method of teaching music endorses spending so much time repeating to practice. This process easily becomes boring, a big reason why so many people quit music studies. A large number of DMIs have been developed to help students on the learning music process, where learning usually means to play the correct notes of existing pieces. MI Blues aims to introduce novice pianists into improvisation of jazz and blues melodies. The idea behind our DMI is to allow students to learn music not only as sequences of correct notes, instead, as sequences of embodied actions, including fingering, hand position changes, and expressive gestures. To improvise is to participate in a creative and embodied form of music making. MI Blues is a DMI for music to interact in the ever-changing musical culture of 21st century. We believe that the creative agency inherent in improvisation is a form to participate on an expressive musical making. Our DMI features two major components. The graphic shows the software on the left that generates the harmonic sequences. The hardware on the right is an illuminating keyboard that guides the user through LED lights. The arrows indicate the information flux of the system. The software component is responsible for the generation of music content, anchored in the blues-jazz idiom. The platform emulates a traditional jazz band. The hardware component provides visual feedback to novice pianists on note suggestions for the creation of melodic patterns. The major novelty of MI Blues, in comparison to existing illuminating keyboards, is the use of a generative system that provides harmonic sequences on the fly, to which multiple solutions for note selection are provided for melodic creation. The active notes suggested by the generative system for the lead instrument are illuminated in the LED bar in red color, while the inactive notes are lit white. The software component features an interactive generation of musical events based on common melodic, harmonic, and rhythm procedures from the classic tonal and modal jazz music practice. It was developed for My Jazz Band, an interactive installation created by Dr. Professor Rui Dias and adapted for the illuminating keyboard system. The melodic instruments were designed to be played directly by the user. The algorithms for these instruments implement a dynamic mapping in real time and maps it to the user interface as shown in the graphic. The model of note transitions is then used to interactively guide the user through notes selection for a melodic creation. The virtual drums and bass follow the user input by matching the density, speed, and type of response, thus creating an overall sense of a real jazz band. The illuminating keyboard is a handcrafted plywood structure. It includes all hardware components of the illuminating bar. It is placed on a MIDI keyboard controller. The illuminating notes complete with an on-the-fly generated jazz harmony driven by the generative jazz model. The user can then use this information to select notes accordingly. We conducted a preliminary experiment to inform the design and future interactions of the proposed DMI. The experiment protocol was largely based on heuristic evaluation for us to understand the performance of the DMI and the effectiveness of the system. The experiment was conducted across 2 days and included 2 participants, both with about 10 or more years of classical piano training and no experience on improvisation. The evaluation with the 2 experienced pianists was of great relevance before the experiment with novice pianists, as it is going to be our feature work. The results of the evaluation were taken into consideration for us to verify the efficiency of the DMI for a more advanced research in professional musical pedagogy. This is a demo of the experiment. Music students often endeavor instrument practice by themselves. The intention of MI Blues is to provide a more effortless way of bringing possibilities for novice pianists to learn in a more suggestive musical expression. Our aim is to provide a system that emphasizes a more effective and enjoyable music learning environment. We believe this change in perspective places more emphasis on the embodied, interactive, and adaptive aspects of musicality and human cognition. When music is the subject, if the student does not practice the art expression as itself, how does a creative mind come to be embodied? Our proposal is to offer music students the freedom to pursue the natural course of the musical art.